Hey everyone, it's James at geometriccharts.com. It's June 27th, about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the daily chart of Bitcoin on the Bitfinex exchange. And first of all, the video is not investment advice. Second of all, I talked about that 13.4 target. We did reach it. We actually shot right through it. And got very, very close to the 14,000 mark on Bitfinex and obviously the other exchanges as well too. A crazy tail end of a run. Everyone thought that was it. It was going straight to 20,000. It was not going to stop. It was just going to keep up, and then bam, absolutely hammered. This has got to be the nastiest single day reversal that Bitcoin has seen in a very, very long time, if not the worst, and coming off of a top, right? Not consecutive days, because if you go back in the heydays when it was going nuts and thrashing around everywhere, of course there were some monster candles, but I'm talking straight from the top, daily candle style. This is by far the worst in that aspect. So Bitcoin does it. Like, this one was nasty too, right here. Obviously not to the magnitude of what we're experiencing now, but at the same token, Bitcoin's had a monster run. I think like over 350% or so. It got crazy vertical, as you can see through all these lines. The diverging momentum's been there the entire time, and I definitely think the party is just getting started for the downside. You know, these things typically last days, if not weeks. And after we've run from the 3,200 zone since December of last year up until now, a few weeks of correction would not be a big deal. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of thrashing around at this level, but I do not think there will be any sustainable price movement to the upside, and Bitcoin has much further to fall, potentially back into the 8,500 range. And if that gives out, the next target after that would be closer to the 6,500 range. However, I think if we're busting through toward that 6,500 range after making a move this big, something else is happening. And more than likely, Bitcoin is going to continue falling, giving back 100% of the move, or at least very close to it. I know some of the alts are being absolutely decimated, like XLM, for example, looks like absolute garbage. It's breaking out of a wedge to the flat side, which is pointing down, and at the same token, it's very close to retracing already half of the move. And if it continues and Bitcoin continues to drop even further, let's just say Bitcoin stalls and finds support right around the 8,500, maybe 9,000 level on Bitfinex, more than likely during this move to the downside in Bitcoin, XLM is going to be destroyed, meaning 100% reversal and possibly deeper. Once that kind of starts happening in this market, it's kind of like a bunch of little lemmings and everyone starts going off a cliff. So it is kind of a high alert scenario if it does happen. So again, if you remove all the drawing tools, this reversal is nasty. I mean, very, very nasty to happen in one day. And again, it was a lot of washing of volume, a monster influx of volume. Minds were exploding. Sentiment was crazy bullish at this level. And I think very few people thought this was going to correct at all. And boom, now it's happening. Now, it's still not like the nail in the coffin, because you're up 355%. We just dropped maybe 25% or so, just using some round numbers real quick. So that's not really that big of a deal, given the magnitude of the run, the time frame of the run, and etc. So I'm not trying to say that that's it, Bitcoin's going straight to the ground, but what happens after this correction is going to determine a lot for the market. So I think as long as it's kind of holding up around this range, there's a good chance of at least a retest of the high, and if not, accelerating through that. top at about 13.8 roughly, just rounding up for Bitfinex, trying to keep everything really simple. So anyways, those are pretty much all the numbers. I think the party's just getting started. I definitely believe there's much more downside for Bitcoin, thousands of points to the downside still, but it's going to thrash around. This is not going to be an easy ride. It's not going to be as smooth of a ride as it was to the upside, where you get these nice stair steps. This is going to be kind of more of like a landslide and a lot of thrashing and whipping around. Probably going to continue to see 200 to 300 to 400 point swings, maybe even higher than that during this descent in Bitcoin. If not, and we just start cascading like another crazy 1,000-point candle and etc., this could go much deeper than I think anyone's even anticipating. And anyways, that's just pretty much it. So we'll see. I take it day by day. I don't want to go too far on it, but right now there's still a lot of possibility for this just to be a normal corrective move and Bitcoin to accelerate back up toward that 14,000 level and possibly beyond that zone. Given that 8,500-ish area is held up in Bitcoin on the daily chart. So hopefully all that makes sense to everyone. If you do like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. I definitely appreciate everyone's time. I hope these videos have some value. I talked about the 13.4 area in the last video, and it pretty much hit that area, went through it, and then immediately it was like whack-a-mole style right after that. It went all the way down to I think it was like 12.2 or something like that. Then it started thrashing violently up and down, and then boom, obviously today. So anyways, I'll have another video on Tuesday, and we're probably going to have a lot of thrashing going in the weekend, and I imagine sometime in the next week we'll just get a continuation of this to the downside. So I imagine Tuesday's video is just going to be more about a continuation of the move downward.